Welcome back, everyone, to the Don't Go Out There Horror Movie Podcast. We are super excited for this upcoming interview. We are joined today by Elizabeth Vermilyea. You've seen her in Hell House LLC 3, Lake of Fire, 8254 Forest Road, and the highly anticipated, soon-to-release Hell House LLC Lineage, set to hit the big screen on August 20th. Thank you so much for joining us today. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. Thanks so much for having me on.
No, thank you. It really means a lot to us that you joined us. We always like to start all of our interviews off just by asking, was being an actress always the dream for you? What's your story on getting into acting?
So it definitely was. I did my first school play when I was 6 or 7. I was cast as Miss Mousy in Froggy Went to Courtin', and I was very excited about it. And then I just kept on doing school plays, and I went to performing arts high school and then college for it. So I just kind of always had this as my plan for what I wanted to do when I was older.
Awesome. I love that. And I saw on IMDb your early work where appearances on like true crime recreation shows, and I listened to another podcast you did and you talked about them. We're all true crime listeners. How were those experiences being on Evil Lives Here and Evil Talks Chilling Confessions?
They were really, really fun. Really fun experience. I think the first one I did was Evil Lives Here, and my husband was, I think he was known as the Craigslist killer or something. He was a serial killer, and
Was that in Florida? Was that the Florida one?
I think it was in Florida. Yeah.
Bobby Joe Long. I know which one you're talking about. Yep.
I think he's still alive on death row or something. Maybe that's changed. But yeah, he started out, he had some like traumatic brain injury or something, and then he woke up and he became a serial rapist and then moved on to killing. So I played his wife. That was a really fun, crazy, weird experience. And then, yeah, I did a couple other ones where I got to be the victim. I was murdered. I was dragged over and over again through this muddy field in like 40-degree weather with barely any clothes on because that's how she was found.
Wow.
So that was really fun. Day on set, yeah. But those things are really fun, and they're really great for like getting TV experience and experience with the camera and everything.
Right.
They sound traumatizing. I'm not going to lie.
A little bit.
I just got a quick follow up to that. Like, are you a fan of true crime? I don't want to say fan, but are you like a consumer? Like, do you watch like these shows on YouTube? Do you listen to podcasts? And do you have any particular case that scares you the most or interests you the most? I've listened to more John Wayne Gacy cases or stories podcasts than any other, just because he's such an unique, interesting person. And I don't know why. I'm just drawn to his cases. What about you? Are you drawn to any particular case?
He's a clown killer, right? So that's
Yeah.
kind of fitting for Hell House. I love true crime. Sometimes I wonder if that's like a good thing to be this into, but I really love it. I love Investigation Discovery Channel before I was on it with those shows. And I just started listening to the Morbid podcast, which I like a lot. I'm in the middle of the episode about Charles Manson right now, and that's a whole crazy case. And I love true crime stuff. I got really, really obsessed with the Murdoch
Yeah.
files. That guy,
That was wild.
that thing was so crazy. Just one thing after another, and it's like if it was on a TV show, you would think it was like they're going too far with this or something. But
Right.
like real life, like it's that crazy. I just find it like so interesting the levels that people will go to, and you're like, how can a person do this? It's just really fascinating, I guess.
Yeah, that murder
Right,
case
and
was something else.
Well, and I'll have a follow-up to that as well. I was just curious, it popped in my head while you were talking about it. You've done a mixture of movies and TV. Do you have a preference on doing which one you like better? I mean, we've asked that to a lot of guests, and they're kind of mixed on the answers. So what are your thoughts on it?
I would say film over TV at this point, only because when you're doing a film, you're there for longer. You get to get more involved in the character and, get to be with the same people day after day for longer. The only TV stuff I've done is for, maybe like 4 days of shooting at a time. If I was on like a series for a long time, maybe that would be different. But I love doing film, and I also love doing theater as well too, still when I can.
Absolutely. Well, speaking of film, you 2019, you made your first appearance in that Hell House franchise, Part 3, Lake of Fire.
Yeah.
How'd you get that role? I mean, and also, have you seen the previous two installments before getting the role of Vanessa?
I had not seen them. So it was just a listing for a casting call on Backstage, the online website. And I don't think it had the name of the films in the description. I think it just said third movie in a trilogy, and it already has like a fan base or something like that. So I thought
Right.
that sounds really cool, and I gave it a shot and auditioned. And then when I got the call back, I think that's when I found out that it was Hell House LLC. So I watched the first two films before I went in for the callback, just to get like a sense of what the tone of the film was and everything. And it was so scary.
Yeah.
Particularly the first one. I was like, oh my God, I had to take breaks while I was watching it because I was getting too scared, and I had to like take a minute. I was really excited to go in for the callback, which was also fun because it was a mixture of reading the scene and then doing improv, where they just it was like they were interviewing me as Vanessa Shepherd, and I was just
Right.
like chatting with them. So that was really cool, and then I got the part and I got to be in it, and it was really awesome.
Well, and this is just a curiosity question. You brought up Gacy and the clown thing, and you talked about how scary this was. I mean, how scary is that clown in Hell House franchise? I mean, to me, it's one of, if not the scariest clown, quote unquote, of in horror.
Yeah, it's really scary. I didn't have that much screen time with the clown in Lake of Fire. I feel like other characters like really went down in the basement and they had their time with him, but for me it was just kind of quick stuff. But the new movie, there is a lot more clown in it. So yeah, if you like the clown and like being scared of clowns, then you're in for a treat with Lineage.
I don't know if I like being scared of clowns.
Yeah.
Well, after Lake of Fire wrapped, my favorite of the franchise thus far was Part 4, Carmichael Manor. Came out a few years later. That serves as kind of this prequel, sequel to the original Hell House. Did you know you'd be coming back for Part 5, Lineage? And, what I've heard is supposedly, it's the finale to the franchise. So,
Yeah, no, I was really excited, and I loved the Carmichael Manor too. And yeah, so the Lake of Fire kind of closed out that trilogy really well. And then obviously Carmichael Manor goes in a different direction. It's like within the same universe, but it's its own story and everything. So I thought that was the direction that Steven was going to go in if he did any more sequels. But yeah, I got the call from him that he was going to do a fifth one and that he would like Vanessa to come back for it. And I was like, okay, that sounds great. I was really surprised, but really excited. So, and I think this one definitely connects the first three and the last one together in a way that's really interesting.
yeah, given the finality, I guess I could say, of Part 3 and the hotel and everything, I'm very interested, very curious to see how it all wraps up in Part 5. Very curious.
Yeah, it's good to rewatch the other ones too, if you're just to remind yourself of different characters and stuff like that before watching this one.
Okay.
Absolutely. We're going to definitely have to do a Hell House a binge before we go see it. If my theater gets it, they're ticking me off right now. They don't have it shown yet, but hopefully they change that by then. But earlier this year, 8254's Road released on Shudder. Stephen Cognetti teased this film back in early 2024 when we interviewed him. How was that experience teaming back up with Stephen after a couple years?
It was great. I was really excited and honored that he wanted me to be in this other film that he had made, and he sent me the script, and I loved it. I thought it was really interesting, the way that it has the different chapters where it focuses on the different characters and everything. I thought was really interesting. I was cast in it right before COVID happened. So obviously it delayed filming and everything, but it was really nice while in lockdown and everything to have this script to work on and, get sent revisions and have that, to know that I was going to have a job coming out of whenever, the COVID lockdown was over. So yeah, it was a really great experience. I loved it.
Yeah, I enjoyed that movie. That had to be a scary time for actors and actresses during COVID, like not knowing when your next job is going to be. So I'm sure it had to feel good that you knew you had something coming out of it.
Yeah, it was nice. It was like a little security blanket because it was really hard not being able to audition, not being able to, feeling like you're losing momentum and all of that, along with how scary it was with everything else too. Yeah.
Yeah, it was weird times.
Yeah.
You and I were talking about this before we started this podcast, but I have to give a spoiler warning, but I have to ask you, can you tell me why, and close your ears, Brian, can you tell me why Steven doesn't like a happy ending in any of his films? Because 8254's Road was another bleak one. It's like, man, do you like anything being good at the end of your movies?
Yeah, I haven't discussed this with him specifically, so I'm not quite sure. But I do enjoy it that he leaves it. It's not necessarily completely dark, at least kind of ambiguous, not knowing if things are going to work out or not. I think it adds to why we like horror and, the feeling of being scared and unsettled and having the ending not resolve itself lets you kind of carry that feeling into life after the movie is over. So I think it's really effective. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay. Yeah, and we've talking about it. I'm going to go back to it because I want to talk about it a little bit more. But LLC Lineage, by the way, releases very soon in theaters, August 20th, about a month away from us recording this. Before we ask anything about the film, how exciting is it that this is going to actually get that theatrical release that we talked about, except that where Nico's at? And I have to think it's incredibly exciting that, you get to see yourself on the big screen. I mean, that's something we can all just hope to dream of.
Yeah, it's really great. I mean, I'm excited for everyone involved in it everyone put a lot of really hard work into it and for everyone to be able to see it in a real movie theater and everything with your friends and family. It's really gratifying. It's really amazing. Personally, I don't love watching myself, so I have kind of mixed feelings about seeing myself gigantic on a big screen. So that'll be a challenge. But yeah, it's really exciting, and I think the films deserve it. I think Steven does, and I know Carmichael Manor was possibly going to get a theatrical release, and then that didn't happen. So it's really cool because a lot of the people who were in that movie are in this one too. So they'll get to have that moment, which is really, really nice.
And this is a staple for the franchise, so I'm not real sure how I feel about it, but I'll trust your input on this one. It's unique that this entry is not found footage.
Yeah.
So, you talked about the difference in making TV and movies. How was that experience not making this film in this franchise, especially from that found footage perspective?
Yeah, it was really interesting to switch. I didn't know that going in either. Steven told me when he offered me the role to bring Vanessa back, and he told me that this was going to be narrative instead of found footage. So that's surprising, but it's also I think when you see the movie, it'll make sense why it's become narrative. Just there's so much story to tie together and so many different, threads from the past movies. I think it'll make a lot more sense being narrative. It's also the thing with found footage, anytime you're having kind of a personal moment, there has to be a justification for it to be on camera.
Right.
So for this one, you can have those, moments where you're seeing the character behind the scenes and everything. And hopefully that makes you more invested in what's happening to them and everything. So and the scares also, you can do a lot more, I think, with it being narrative and different places where the clown can be and stuff like that. I think will be really fun.
Absolutely. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I know you can't talk a lot about it. Please don't. I wouldn't want you to get in trouble. But what can you tell us about Lineage, and what can the fans expect?
Yeah, so it takes place after the events of all the previous movies, obviously. Vanessa Shepard is back, and she's not doing great. She's struggling after everything that happened in Lake of Fire. And then she's kind of drawn back into all the mysteries surrounding the Abaddon Hotel and the Carmichael Manor, and to see how that all connects. And there's a lot of cameos from people in the past movies, and there's some new characters. And yeah, and then there's a lot of really scary stuff that happens in it. I think this one has the most scares out of any of the movies. So I think that's something to look forward to. If anyone's nervous about the found footage narrative flip, I think it'll still be a really fun movie.
Okay, I trust you. So you talked about it a little bit earlier, your relationship with Stephen Cognetti. This is your third time working with him now. You know, we interviewed him, like Nico mentioned. I think he's a brilliant filmmaker. You've worked with him, you know, for over half a decade now altogether. You know, what makes Stephen unique as a filmmaker and storyteller?
Yeah, I mean, first of all, he's just the nicest guy. So he's wonderful to work with. He's just kind and funny and doesn't take himself too seriously. And I mean, in terms of his work, I mean, he has written everything that he's directed. So he has a very definite point of view, and, you know, knows how he wants everything to look, and the tone and everything is very personal and very specific to him, which is great. It's nice to have, you know, he's the leader as the director. And so for him to really know what his vision is, just makes it easier on everybody else to do their role in it. Yeah, and I love his writing. I love the characters are so nuanced and interesting, and you really get a sense of who they are right away, I feel like, from his writing. And yeah, he's really great as a director, just like the lack of ego. He wants input from everybody, and if you have an idea or something to offer, he's totally open to it. So that's really great. He's awesome to work with.
Absolutely.
That doesn't surprise me that he's like a really big team player, because when we interviewed him, you know, he answered all of our Hell House questions and everything about filmmaking, you know, as a professional. But at the end, we started talking sports with him, and you could see him really light up. Like, he was really excited to talk about football and checking Twitter for football updates.
He was a big Giants fan, if I recall.
Yep, big Giants fan.
That's right, yeah.
And The Office. He loved The Office, too, when we brought up Scranton.
That's right.
Oh, yeah. I love The Office, too. Yeah. I don't know anything about sports, but I could talk about The Office.
I'll let you and Brian can talk The Office. I haven't seen it, so forgive me for that.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
You do look like a mixture of Pam and, oh my gosh, Angela. A little bit. You got to be a little bit mixture of both going on.
Yeah. Cool.
Elizabeth, soon you'll be doing Hell House panels, and you'll get to meet some fans for Lineage promotions. I'm sure that's got to be exciting to meet the fans. Are you excited to meet the passionate Hell House fans? Are there any concerns? You know, we've heard from previous guests some strange encounters, albeit most fan encounters are all delightful and heartwarming. Are you excited to meet the fans and answer their questions in person?
Yeah, for sure. I'm so excited. Yeah, this will be my first time doing panels and conventions and stuff like that. So I think it'll be really fun. I know there's like a big fan base out there for the Hell House movies, and I'm really excited that I, you know, get to be a part of it. I'm also a fan of the Hell House movies. So yeah, I think it'll be really awesome. And hopefully nothing weird, I guess.
If you've never been to a horror con, just expect some weird stuff. I'll just
All right.
give you that heads up. I've been to quite a few of them. There are definitely some weird stuff. Before we wrap this up, I got to ask you a question that just came to my mind. You've been in the Hell House franchise, and I've listened to another podcast you've done. I know you're a big Scream fan, but what's another horror franchise you'd love to be a part of? I'm sure Scream's probably one of them.
Yeah, Scream. I love those movies. Yeah, what else? You know what? I actually really love the Purge movies.
Oh, okay.
I think they're really fun. It would be fun to be in a Purge movie. That would be cool.
Speaking of bleak movies.
I love the Final Destinations.
Yeah.
I would love to have a really weird, convoluted death sequence. A pencil rolls off the table and suddenly my eyeball's on the floor or something somehow. Yeah, I'm forever afraid of driving behind logging trucks because of those movies.
sure.
I think we all are.
Yep. Absolutely.
Yeah, so that would be really cool.
Tanning beds, roller coasters,
Yeah.
lifting weights. I'm scared of everything from that
Yeah.
franchise now.
Anything could lead to your death. That's the theme of those movies.
We really appreciate your time, Elizabeth. Thank you so much for joining us. Is there anything you'd like to promote that's in the works? Maybe some stuff you're working on that's not Hell House LLC Lineage? You want to shout out your social medias for the fans and listeners to follow you to see what's next with you?
Yeah, so I have a few short films that should be coming out sometime later this year. They'll probably be in the festival circuit, but maybe end up somewhere. But yeah, I'm on Instagram, just Elizabeth Vermilyea, and I'm sure I'll post stuff about that as they come up. But yeah, nothing specific right now.
Awesome. Hey, those conventions, if you start doing them, you can show your short films there if you can get into the film festivals. That's a great place to do it. We really appreciate your time. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm really excited for Lineage. I really hope my theater gets it because I want to see it in theater so bad. But as of now, I got to drive at least 200 miles to go see it. And
Oh my gosh,
it makes no sense that smaller cities than the one I'm in is getting the movie, but mine's not getting. I just don't understand.
Yeah, maybe there's something we can do with calling AMC theaters or something and being like, show it in mine.
Oh, I'm a member, so I'm going to talk to them next time I go down there. I'm going to give them I'll write a strongly worded email if I have to. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you guys.
Yeah,
It was
thank
really
you.
fun.